Hello, people. So here's an update. The Jazzmaster has been Plek'd. Look at that. You can't see anything, but it's cool. Trust me. So I went down to visit my friends at Mass Street Music in Lawrence, Kansas. They were gracious enough to let me watch the machine do the work, and they put me to work. So I had to do kind of all the setup work because there's a lot of work involved before you put it in the Plek. Like make sure like your stress rod is in the right place to where it will scan it, and where the frets are high and low and stuff, you have to kind of actually had to put a little back bow on it because of the way the high frets were. So we kind of had to do that. And with the vintage Jazzmaster, you have to like take the neck off every time you turn the truss rod. So it was a little bit time consuming, but it was really cool. But yeah, and they gave me a nice discount since I was doing some of that work. So it was all really nice. Matt Harmon there is great. He kind of guided me through the process and has kind of become my informal little mentor as I'm getting into the luthing world. But that anyway, it turned out great. Super low action. Just every note rings clear. It's fantastic. Learned a little things about how I play. I noticed it's like the 11th fret is always high for me. I think it's because when I was in high school, I learned that blues box and played a lot of songs in E. So you're like at the 12th fret constantly. So you're wearing down things above it. And of course, I had to wear down at the lower end of the fingerboard, which is common. I mean, I think a lot of us, because that's where like a lot of your rhythm playing happens, below the like 7th fret. So that was really cool. Again, my situation here, I can't really demo it very well. It wouldn't really make a difference anyway with the sound quality, but it does make a difference. Plek is a really cool thing, and again, it analyzes where all the highs and low spots are, and it figures out like the optimum place to level things to where you can get the most remaining fret height. So it's kind of extends the life of the frets. Although this one I bought in 2014, and just played it. Like I knew basics that nothing had been done to the frets that entire time. And it was I gigged with it a fair amount, not a ton, but as much as for me. But, so it saw a gig every month and weekly band practices and that kind of stuff. So at my level, that's pretty busy. And it was my main guitar. I didn't have the huge collection that kind of blew up around the pandemic, but in like the late 2010s, this was like the guitar I was playing all the time. So it got a fair amount of wear on it. And now since it's been Plek'd, and this is probably the last time. I'm not sure if I could have gotten a regular level and crown as low as some of the frets were, but with the Plek, it actually did find a spot where it could play great. But yeah, I think if I play this reasonably often for the next few years, it's going to need a refret. They're just worn down too much. And they were vintage frets, so they're not. So I'd kind of like thicker, fatter frets on that thing anyway, so it's all good. I'm happy. So I'll insert a couple of pictures here. Just FYI, here's kind of what things look like in there. And you can see kind of the diagram and all of that stuff. But yeah, so I've been Plek'd. It was fun. But yeah, and I kind of got into it. Kind of sparked my interest in kind of now I want to go through and do some leveling and crowning on all my guitars. Probably more like spot leveling. I don't know if I'll do the whole hog thing. I think most of these can get by with some spot leveling. Starting with this thing. Never been a Strat guy, but I've had this thing, and it's various parts. It's pretty cool. So I'm working on this. I just did some spot leveling, crowning, and polishing on this one. And it's one I've struggled with Strats, just liking them. I've got a couple. One is set up baritone, which I actually really like that one as a baritone better. It was a good, and as Strats go, it was a great Strat, but it really shines as a baritone. So And I had been switching necks and bodies and all this stuff with that one and the other body, and this one I have here. I'm going. I had it. The body was sitting here. I had necks. I had tuners, and I just had spare parts. And I'm like, I've got a whole guitar here, so I'm gonna give this one another try. So I don't know exactly what it is. I think it was the neck. It's always the neck, and the neck on the that was on it before. I didn't like it all, and I actually took it off and sold it, which is why the body was sitting there orphaned. And it didn't work as well as a baritone. I did try. And I've got some Cluson Deluxe tuners that laying around, so I'm just like, okay, well, might as well. I've got the parts for a guitar, might as well make a guitar. And it's more practice for me to do things. But yeah, so it was a guy in Carthage, Missouri named Bloom Doom that does it's kind of like MJT, takes, does nitro finishes and, various stages of relicking. This one was actually supposed to be closet clean. I relicked it. I guess it's the nitro, and I had it against maybe some rubber or something, and it's kind of burned it. It didn't like it. There's some spots on the edges. Nitro is very sensitive to other synthetic things, so you have to be careful where you put it, what kind of stands you use, that kind of stuff. I've got painter's tape all over my guitar stands. So for the other nitro, I've got this one. There's the Telly, my Heritage, and the other Strat or nitro finishes. But they're Strats. They look good, kind of good banged up. And I like this color. It's kind of a rust, not quite red. It's supposed to be, it was like a just said two-tone sunburst. And it looked red in the pictures. And I got it home, and you see a little more of the brown in it, but still pretty cool finish. I've got Porter pickups. I think that's what MJT uses. The neck is my always Player 2 Fender in Sonata Mexico neck. I've got them on 2 other guitars. I just love those necks. I found the profiles really nice and fast. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. So I'm gonna probably be working on this guy. I need to get some new saddles. I stripped out the adjustment screw on one of them, and I just decided to order replacement saddles. Have a spare set. It's a man-made bridge. They do a lot of stuff for PRS, but they make a really cool, good vintage Strat, and I loved that bridge, but they had the tiniest adjustment screws, and I just must have stuck the wrong size wrench in there at one point and stripped it. It didn't take anything. So, and they didn't sell the screws by themselves, so I was like, well, I'll just buy new saddles, and I'll have some spares if I need them. So that's coming. But yeah, no, fretwork's been cool. Got one of these. Really, really impressed with it. It's called a Fret Kisser. It's from Stu Mac, our friends Stuart McDonald. Not an endorsement, just I like them. And they're doing this special. So there you go. If you get this, you get a little understring crowning file for free. See that little thing? You can just do your little crowning. So I'm a sucker for a deal. And I used it on that Strat and just now, and it worked like a charm. It's like a regular fret rocker, but it's got a little diamond file on there. So you just set it on 3 frets and on the high fret, and then you just file it until it doesn't rock anymore. So pretty nifty. So it's playing with that. So I guess that's all I got for now. I'll let you know the progress, but yeah, definitely down with the Plek'd or up with the Plek'd. I'm into it. It's good. Plek'd is cool. I know. Sometimes technology is good, folks. All right. Have a great one. Bye.